Today's guest needs little introduction. However, I will introduce him. You know him, Tony Martignetti, as the nonprofit planned giving extraordinaire. And I have the privilege of having him on our podcast today. So Tony has a book coming out in September 15th to be exact. It's called the Planned Giving. It's called, let me say it better, Planned Giving Accelerated. And this interview is all about the book and what came to be and his 3-step process and how to launch a planned giving program in 1 week. Tony talks about his what he calls his meal plan. So many different aspects of the book today that he covers. He also has a number of guests in the book. Yours truly has maybe a page in the book. So I hope you'll check it out here and enjoy the interview. Tony's talking about all of his long-time topics. He talks about how planned giving is not a death conversation, how it's really relational, and just success stories of his clients and how they've launched their planned giving programs, small or medium organizations. You don't have to be a giant institution or university to launch a program like this. So I'll hope you enjoy the interview and conversation as much as I did. Tony Martignetti, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much, Sherry Quam Taylor. Thank you for having me back.
Well, Tony, I know we're going to talk about all the typical things we talk about, how planned giving is not a death conversation and all those important things. But you have some big news coming up here in mid-September. You have a new book coming out.
I do. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm launching my book, Planned Giving Accelerated. I hope you'll give me a chance to read the full title.
I was just going to say, do you have it memorized?
It's fun. I have to keep it in front of me so that I don't drop any words. But yes, you're right. Thank you. September 15th, my book, Planned Giving Accelerated, launches.
Are you going to read the full title?
Thank you very much. I will.
Let's read it.
Planned Giving Accelerated. The cut through the shit. No nonsense. Practical, step-by-step guide to start legacy giving fundraising at your small to mid-sized nonprofit simply in 1 week with bequests. The title may be longer than the book. Did you need a nap?
I saw your LinkedIn post about that, and I was like, you know what? But it's hard to fit everything you need to say in one short little title.
Well, and I'm trying to have fun with it because I want folks to know that I'm shouting out small and mid-sized nonprofits in the title. So clearly, this is for them. This is not for the University of Chicago or Harvard or the Cleveland Clinic or whatever.
Yes.
And that planned giving is accessible to you as a small or mid-sized nonprofit.
Yes.
It's easy, it's affordable. So I want folks to see that in the book title and also that you're going to have some fun with it. This is not an academic text by any means. This is a practitioner text.
I love it. Okay, so we're going to unpack all of that. You already are giving me some nuggets. So I'd be curious to know, I'm always asking authors, how was the process for you? A, and then B, you were so kind. I was so flattered when you asked me to contribute a little bit to it. And I really was like, Tony, that's so nice of you. Tell me how you came up with that idea to, A, write the book, and then B, hey, what's the format and how can I have, some of my friends and colleagues participate?
I wrote the book because I want small and mid-sized nonprofits to recognize that they can be enormously, not just middling, enormously successful with planned giving fundraising. When you do it right, when you focus it, I focus you because the first 3 chapters are the 3 steps in the Martignetti 3-step 1 week planned giving launch. Chapter 1 is step 1. I know we'll get to them. Chapter 2 is step 2, and chapter 3 is step 3.
Love it.
Within a week of reading the first 3 chapters, steps 1, 2, and 3, you can launch planned giving because you'll start having cultivation and solicitation conversations. That's your launch. So I wrote it for that reason, Sherry. You asked, how was it? It's long. Writing a book is a process, but it's fun. I've never done it before. I don't know whether I'll do it again, but I'm very, very glad that I'm doing this. I'm self-publishing because, look, no publisher is going to publish a book that has SH exclamation mark T, shit in the title. No publisher is going to take that.
That's the title.
They're not on all these words, right? No, they would have just fought with me at the title. They wouldn't have even gotten to the first word of the text.
Yes.
They would have objected to the title. So it's clearly, it's self-published. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And bringing in other people like you. Well, you contributed to my old course, the Planned Giving Accelerator. This is Planned Giving Accelerated, the book. But you used to be part of my course, and I resonate with what you say, that you want folks to come genuine. Mm-hmm. No personas, no facade. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
To all fundraising conversations. You used to tailor it, of course, for my course, which was around planned giving.
Sure.
But I see this advice from you all the time on LinkedIn. Yeah. Be yourself.
Be yourself.
And I wanted that message to get shared with my readers in small and mid-sized nonprofits. So I'm honored to have you contributing.
Well, thank you. I was so flattered. Okay, so I feel like, Tony, you've said it like 10 times, like this is for small and mid-sized nonprofits. And, a lot of my clients who are small and mid-sized, it's very interesting. Even in the last, I'm going to say from COVID, maybe, I would say planned giving or legacy giving, some talk of an endowment, something comes up in conversations 3 times more than I think pre-COVID. And I think, maybe that tone is shifting of people saying, oh, wait, this is not just for Harvard, but actually this could be for our $3 million organization. So why do you think that, maybe are you seeing that too? And maybe why do you think that is?
I am seeing an uptick in interest. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, look, the pandemic, although now it's 6 years old, made a lot of people face their own mortality. Yeah. And I think interest in wills grew around the pandemic. Mm. Also, there's a lot of press now about the great American wealth transfer coming. I don't know. I see 16 trillion. I think I see 50 or 60 trillion. The reality is baby boomers hold a lot of money, and it's deep into the trillions of dollars, however deep it is. And I say that as a baby boomer, young. I'm a young baby boomer.
I knew that.
Young.
I knew that about you.
I'm a young one. I am a baby boomer. I am technically a baby boomer, but I'm at the very, very young age. So, but folks in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, and even hundreds, they held a lot of wealth, and that wealth is going to be transferred. And your small or mid-sized nonprofit, the clients that you work with, that I work with, can benefit from that. But you have to be out there asking, as I know you are constantly promoting to folks. You have the conversations.
Have the conversations. I just loved just our conversations and getting to know your business, your practice. Because at first I thought, oh, these are very different things that we do, and they're actually not different things that we do. Of course, I'm not coaching on how to ask for, a gift by will or anything, but it's just relationship building, and it's cultivating. It's eventually making that ask, and it's really moving from reactive to proactive. And so I've just loved learning from you and really seeing how these are married and just work so well together.
They absolutely are interrelated. Major gifts, investment level giving, and this is investment level giving.
Yeah,
it's just long term investment level giving. Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump into this. You always say, planned giving is not a death conversation, which I totally agree with. Let's break down that misconception and start heading into okay, so if it's not that, what is it, and what are those steps that you alluded to?
In the book, I have Tony's top 6 myths of planned giving. I put 5. The first 5 are in one chapter. The 6th one, this one that you're alluding to, is in a short chapter all by itself, because it is so pernicious, so hateful. This one offends me when I hear it. I despise this one. Loathing. All right, so I've built it up enough. What is it? Tony, so of the 6, Tony's top 6 myths of planned giving, the 6th one is it's a conversation about death.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. We turn that 180 degrees on its head. Sherry, this is a conversation about life.
Yes.
Life. The life, longevity, and sustainability of your work, your mission, in your community,
Yeah.
however you define community, it might be a local community, it might be the globe. You're going to be talking to your most loyal, committed donors. And that's exactly what you have in common with them, your work. You know they love it because they've been supporting it for a long, long time, decades in lots of cases. And of course, you love it because you're fundraising for it. So that's what the conversation is about. The opposite of death, life, the life and longevity of your nonprofit in your community.
Yeah.
And you asked about the 3 steps. So chapter 1 of the book is step 1, identify your top prospects. These are the folks that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Your most loyal, committed, long-term donors. These are folks who have been giving to you for 20, 25, maybe 30 years.
Wow.
And they have a good relationship with somebody, just at least one person in your nonprofit.
Yeah.
They take the calls, they reply to the emails, they come to the events when they're invited. So those are your top prospects.
Yeah.
And of course, in the book, chapter 1, I give you the exact queries that you go to
Love
your
it.
CRM database with to find these folks who have been giving for a long, long time, your committed, loyal donors. And an important point to that is you have all the data you need. You don't need a wealth screening.
Yes.
You don't need a planned giving propensity overlay. You have the data you need. It's in you're just querying for longevity, long-term giving.
Yeah. And not,
So
my guess is if we said, hey, don't even go in your CRM, who are the 5 people? My guess is people, if they just sat 1 second, would be like, okay, so it's Tom, it's Susan, it's like, these are the people you're already in relationship with.
You're absolutely right, Sherry. A lot of times when I'm working with clients, we don't even get to the query stage in your CRM.
Yeah.
Because as I'm defining what a top prospect is, the way I just did with you, you're exactly right. Names are popping out of people's heads. They already know these folks. So I say, stop reading in the book. Stop reading and start writing.
Yes.
Write these folks down. You're identifying your top planned giving prospects, long-term, loyal, committed donors, and at least one person in your office has a good relationship with them.
Yeah.
You're right. You know these folks off the top of your head very often.
You know what happened yesterday on a call with a client? And I'm not a lot of my clients use wealth screening, and I find great. Like sometimes it helps us, it gives us nuggets, or it says, oh, we're actually over in this ballpark. I thought we were here. But it's also true of the opposite way, because I was kind of coaching them through. This client had given a $150,000 gift. We were like, how do we grow it? It was that their best gift. And the development director hopped in their CRM to look at the wealth screening, and it said recommended ask because of their wealth would be between $5,000 and $10,000. And we were like, well, they gave us $150,000. So it's like, I was like, this is a perfect example of, like, you gotta, you know it, go have a conversation with them. Like, don't trust all of this, technology, even though, again, I'm not downplaying it, but perfect example of, if we just ran a report, maybe some of these people who would invest so deeply and make a legacy gift, make it gift by will, like our data might not show that, but our mind knows.
Yeah, exactly right. You're pointing out something that's enormously valuable. I know resonates with you. It's consistent across the two of us. Relationships trump. They even trump your own data, and they certainly trump outside, third-party overlays and screens.
Yeah.
You know your folks, and we're talking to your most loyal, committed donors. Those are your top prospects for planned giving, as well as other types of giving. The work you're doing in the outright giving, the relationships. It's all about the relationships. Yeah,
all about it. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2.
Step 2. Start with gifts and wills.
Okay,
These are, you could call them gifts and wills or charitable bequests. They mean the exact same thing. What it means is, alongside the donor's husband, wife, partner, children, grandchildren, there's a gift for your nonprofit. They love you that much. And we know they love you, again, because of that longevity of giving. Other reasons to start with gifts and wills. They're the most popular planned gift by far.
Okay.
Expect 75% of your planned gifts.
75%.
When you're doing planned giving, 20 years from now, you'll still be doing planned giving.
Yeah.
Because you're going to start within a week. of reading the first 3 chapters. By the way, there are more than 3 chapters in the book. I don't want you to think this is like a 22-page book with only 3 chapters.
Yeah,
no.
The title is longer than the chapters.
The title may be longer than the book. Yes, that's why I invite the nap. But after reading the first 3 chapters, you can do this within a week because, as I said earlier, launching means you've had your first either cultivation or solicitation with a top prospect around planned giving. That's your launch, Sherry. And again, I know we're so closely aligned in frameworks and theory and thinking and advocacy. You don't need a campaign. No. You don't need a press release. You don't need a website. You don't even need a web page. You don't need a 4-color brochure. You don't even need a printed black and white 8.5 by 11 sheet to leave behind. This is a serious enough conversation. Your donors, these folks are not going to forget the conversation because you have to reinforce it with a 4-color brochure. Yeah. None of those things are needed because step 1 is identify your top prospects. Step 2, start with gifts and wills. And step 3, cultivate and solicit your top prospects that you identified in step 1. So I was giving a couple of reasons why wills, why step 2 is start with wills. So in the book, I also have the Martignetti 18 reasons why bequests are the place to launch your planned giving. So aside from the ones I already mentioned, there's no lifetime cost. This is ideal for which is another one, making it ideal for your small and modest donors. Right. There's no lifetime cost. This is ideal for your sustainability and endowment growth because so many of these gifts and wills come as the most desirable kind of gift. Yes. Unrestricted cash. Amen. So many of them come that way. So I urge you to put as much as possible into the endowment. I recognize there are immediate needs too. You got to keep salaries paid. You got to keep the rent, the lights on. But as much as possible, put into that endowment. Yeah. Even if your endowment is now 0. This is how you're going to launch your endowment. Yeah. It's got to get in and grow. And it will grow. It will grow the more you do planned gifts because so many of them are unrestricted gifts of cash. So those are some of the 18 reasons why. And then step 3, did you want to amplify?
Well, no, give me step 3 because before we go? I'm just like you're kind of giving me a little bit of I think that's why people do this. But give me step 3 first.
Step 3 is cultivate and solicit your top prospects. That's where you're opening conversations. Depending on the relationship with each person, it might be a cultivation conversation, or they may be so close to your nonprofit and your work that they're ready to be solicited in your next meeting with them. Of course, you work up to it, but the very simple solicitation, would you consider including us in your will? Yeah, so whether it's a cultivation or solicitation meeting, you have launched your planned giving program. Celebrate that. Celebrate it. That first conversation, you've launched your program, and that's what you can do. That's the Martignetti 3-step, 1 week planned giving launch. Because in a week of reading step 3, or the first 3 chapters, you can start having conversations.
Yeah. Okay, so good. What I was tracking with, while you were talking, was, Tony, I think maybe part of the reason why the planned giving conversation feels so, I don't know, I'm going to say scary to people, is I actually find very few fundraisers are having one-on-one conversations with donors. I'll say, hey, how do you solicit your largest donors? Well, we have an event. Well, we send appeals. Well, we send an application. And so a lot of my work is like, but how do I go have a conversation with them? What am I saying? Well, how am I being curious? How am I showing up as myself? And so as you were just talking, I was like, man, if just a regular annual fund ask or, meeting, it feels scary to a fundraiser. This must feel so huge, even though they're the same. And once you get to really know your donors, truly do relational fundraising, it's not that scary. And then it's just another curious conversation of, hey, next time we meet, could we talk about that? And they're usually 9 times out of 10, they're like, yeah, sure. Why have you waited so long, kind of thing. And so you have to have a relationship, and you have to be having meetings and be curious in those meetings already for this to flow. That's
right. And that's why step 1 is, when you're identifying your top prospects, your most loyal, committed donors. You know these folks. Like we were saying, they come to mind. You may not even have to go to your CRM database. You know them already. So at step 3, cultivate and solicit your top prospects, you'll know where each person is. Do they need a little more cultivation before we approach the subject? Or in the next meeting, can I tell them that, the way to lead into it is we're focused on our long-term, our sustainability. We're talking to our most loyal, committed donors like you, and thank you for the decades, and you will have prepared for the meeting, so you'll know that it was 2002 when they started giving. You'll know. And thank you for giving for those 24 years to us. Thank you so much. And we're asking folks to invest in our long term. Is it something you would consider? Would you consider including us in your will?
Yes.
And that's the core. That's not the beginning, but there's the core of your solicitation meeting.
Yeah. It's you make it sound so easy because it's actually really practical and easy.
Yeah. Professor Russell James at Texas Tech University. You know him. Do you know him? He's a quantitative researcher. He's a full professor whose research area is planned giving fundraising. Cool. That's what he devotes his career to. That's what he teaches at Texas Tech. He wrote the foreword for my book.
Nice.
So he's on board with the Martignetti 3-step 1-week planned giving launch. And he says in the foreword, the most powerful idea in planned giving is also the simplest. Start.
Yes.
That's
start.
exactly resonant with what you're saying. Start. Just have that first conversation. I promise you the second one will be easier than the first.
Yeah.
The third will be easier than the second. Yeah. And remember, you're talking to folks who you already know very well.
It's just a muscle. It's just a muscle we need to strengthen. Tony, so like our best people are the best opportunity are people who are already giving consistently to, let's say, our annual fund, to our organization. But then also there's a lot of research on people that have then said, yeah, actually, I have put you in my will, or I would like to make a gift to your endowment, whatever. Those people also grow their annual fund gifts. And so like, it's a win-win to have both of these programs, running side by side.
You're hinting at one of the other of Tony's top 6 myths of planned giving, which is it will hurt our other fundraising. No, it's exactly the opposite. So just like the death conversation is exactly the opposite. It's about life and longevity. Professor James, who I was just talking about, has a research study that's devoted to this. He showed that on average, 75% of people who make a gift in their will, and it was specific to this planned gift in a will, increase their other giving to that same nonprofit.
Wow.
So aside from the fact that it's 180 degrees incorrect, it's right. Yeah, it'll hurt our other fundraising. No, exactly wrong. There's a 75% chance that it's going to increase your other fundraising. Because why, Sherry? Because people feel so close to you.
Yes.
They have put you alongside their husband, wife, partner, children, grandchildren. They love your work that much. And when they make this commitment, they feel so much closer aligned to you.
Yeah.
Like family, as close as a nonprofit could be to family, that's how they feel about you. So they increase their other giving. And in addition to his quantitative research on it, I've got 29 years. I've been doing planned giving since 1997.
Oh my goodness.
And I've seen this easily 1,000 times. Yeah. Other people increase, planned giving donors, who can make a commitment by will, increase their other giving to that same nonprofit.
So good. So good. Okay. One other concept you talk about in the book is the Martignetti meal plan. Lay it on me. What are we talking about?
Okay. The Martignetti meal plan. MEAL is an acronym for, we're having fun with this.
Good.
Because if we're not going to have fun with planned giving, then don't do it. That's why the book is lighthearted.
Yes, good.
MEAL is an acronym for Meals Expertly Allow Learning. Because I believe that you can have very successful planned giving conversations, and this applies more generally too, and get to know your donors and prospects very, very well over a shared meal together. First, you're sharing a common space, the table. So I feel I'm in community with the donor, or it might be a couple, right? It might be meeting, it might be 2-on-1. But I feel in community with that person or the two of them.
Yes.
And then also, to our advantage, the shared and understood cadence and timing of a restaurant meal. We all know when there's going to be a short pause, like after we order beverages, we just ask for water or iced tea, or maybe there's a glass of wine, whatever it is, within a few minutes, the beverage is going to come. So that's a short span of time. Another example, when they drop the entree, that's going to be a long span of time. Now we've got 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, the server's probably going to, if the server is very good and deserves a very good tip, then they're probably going to check once, but that's a brief check.
Yeah.
And we're like, in all likelihood, we're going to say, yeah, everything is very good. Thank you. So we've got 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then after they clear the entree, if there's going to be dessert or if not, but everybody understands that timing and pacing. And that's to your advantage. Yeah. You can time and pace your conversation around the shared understanding of a restaurant meal. Now, I do want to add, for folks that are not comfortable doing that, because they may feel like, well, if my prospect or donor, if they order alcohol, but I don't want to drink, I don't drink, or I don't want to drink while I'm working, or who's going to pick up the check, that's going to be awkward. And, you know, I've mastered these things, but if any of these make you uncomfortable, then please, you do you show up as you, as we were saying. You host your donor and prospect meetings wherever you are comfortable.
Yes.
Your office, their home, wherever. It's not, you know, that you have, this is not a mandatory, you got to do it over meals. No,
sure.
I just offer up the Martignetti meal plan because I'm very comfortable that way, and I want to share what I've learned over 29 years of meeting donors and prospects around planned giving. But if it doesn't resonate with you, please, you do you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just a good reminder, Tony, of we're so busy. We're like, but the appeal is due, and it's Giving Tuesday next week, and it's like, hold on. Are we spending quality time with our donors? I mean, I agree with you. Like the meal and the cadence, I love just thinking of it that way. Of like, I know I have these, you know, whatever, maybe 60 to 90 minutes. But I think again, maybe I'm kind of blaming some COVID timing too. I think there's less meals happening together because now people are just a bit removed and more remote. And these are good reminders. We need to spend time with people. I put this in a little bit of the same bucket of you can still pick up the phone and just call people and just be like, oh my gosh, I just got the mail and that was so generous. Thank you. Yeah. Lost art. You know, all of these things, a handwritten card, all of these things are relationship building steps, and we got to pause and make sure we're doing them. And so I love that reminder from you, just in fundraising and relational work.
I agree 100% with everything you just said. Absolutely.
Yeah, so good. Okay, so I feel like maybe what I want people to know, and you know, when I plan on buying some of your books and sending them to my clients.
Thank you.
This is so much more accessible than people think. I really think we've thought the big academic museum development shops or philanthropy teams are really the ones doing this. But I think I love that you've worked so hard to demystify this, and it really is accessible to everyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As I said, I shout out small and mid-sized nonprofits in the title. I want folks. Look, I worked once with a historical agency that had one full-time employee. Now, it had long longevity. It had been around 60 or 70 years. But one full-time employee, the executive director, the annual budget was around $300,000.
Wow.
We did a first mailing of just 200 pieces because this is not a big organization, so smaller size mailing. And we got back 6 positive replies. Either I've already included the agency in my will, but they had never asked, or I will do it. Not I'd be interested. I will include the organization in my will. It doesn't get much smaller than, it can't get any smaller than one full-time employee. Right. Well, it could be all volunteer.
I suppose.
But, that's very, very at the small end of small. And they had that kind of success.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
It's accessible, Sherry. It's affordable. It's easy to do. 3 steps, 1 week.
Yeah. I love it. Tony, can I ask one more question about this? I love that example you just gave. Oftentimes, I feel like people have put the organization in their will, but then when it lands on their desk, they're surprised, you know, of course, because they haven't asked or, you know, cultivated maybe from that angle. But I guess my question is, what is your advice to people on kind of leaning into, like, how often do you see that it's just like the surprise, like, oh my gosh, we got a big bequest. Like, I'm working with a group who works in the cancer space, and so they're getting gifts like, oh my goodness, wow, I didn't even know that. Now, obviously, not all of those times is it appropriate to have that conversation, but I guess I'm trying to say, like, how do you move the needle from it being like the surprise gift to the, like, we can actually count on this and plan on it. I know we've like talked about this, but I'm just like, if someone's listening here and going, well, that person one time just said something kind of weird, but like, I don't know how much it is, and like, what are kind of the facts around it? Like, how do we move it to a little bit more known versus unknown?
By having these conversations with
That's
your
simple.
top prospects. Look, Sherry, you're absolutely right. There are always going to be surprise gifts.
Yeah.
However many opportunities you give people, either print or digital, to check a box and say, I've already included you in my will, like that historical agency.
Yes.
Some folks are just never going to do it. It's too private. It's too personal to them. They feel like they can't change their minds, and very few people do. Professor James has a study on that as well, and I cite it in the book. Very few people do, but people feel that if they tell you, if they check that box, or if they pull you aside in an event, or they let you know
Sure.
at a one-on-one meeting, that now they've incurred a moral obligation and they can't change their mind. So those are some of the reasons why some folks will never let you know.
Yes.
All you can do is increase the likelihood of you knowing.
Yes.
There will always be those surprises, but you can increase the likelihood of knowing by having conversations like the ones we're talking about.
Yeah, like any gift. Okay, so I lied. I have one more question. What would you say to, like, a client of mine who just brought up, like, hey, I'd like to talk about starting that. And I was like, okay, great. I'll send you Tony's book first. I sent her the link to one of your live Q&As that's coming up. What would you say to this person on, like, I see a lot of my clients going through these, like, well, first we got to spend 6 months to have a policy written by the board. And like, it feels like there's this huge lift. What do you say to that? Tell me.
I say the Martignetti 3-step 1 week planned giving launch.
1 week. Yeah.
Notice those 3 steps don't include identify your top prospects, start with gifts and wills, cultivate and solicit those top prospects. Where's the gift acceptance and crediting policy?
1B.
Where's the 4-color brochure? Where's the campaign event? Where's the kickoff? Where's the press release? No, those things, we can do those things later on. And I think I talk about everything I just named in the book.
Yeah.
But those come later.
Okay.
I want folks to think about, and this is my general life philosophy too, how you can instead of why you can't.
Oh.
If you're looking for the why you can't, you and I just named 3 or 4 or 5 reasons why we have to delay. It's not, and then we could add bandwidth and budget, but I'm keeping this simple and low budget for small and mid-sized nonprofits. How you can. I'm giving you the how.
Yeah.
3 steps, 1 week. That's what I would say.
I love it. This is why we click. One of my coaches called it fighting for your limitations. But we can't. But we all stop fighting for your limitations and put your foot on the gas pedal.
That's very good. Stop fighting for your limitations.
Ooh, yeah, I use that a lot. Tony, September 15th, the planned giving accelerated. We'll put in the show notes links when you give them to me to make sure everybody can buy the book and everything. But what other information? How can they find you? I know we're on LinkedIn all the time together. How can they find you? Where can they buy the book? Like, what's that going to look like here when we launch in a couple days?
Starting September 15th, the book will be certainly at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.
Great.
In the meantime, plannedgivingaccelerated.com, you can put yourself on the book wait list, and you'll get an advanced chapter, and you'll certainly know when the book goes on sale. And connecting with me, where you and I are very commonly together, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the best way, I would say.
Awesome. Good. I hope the book is a huge success, and I'm looking forward to reading it. Thanks for coming, Tony.
Thank you for hosting me, Sherry. Thanks so much. I love it. Good to see you, my friend.
You too.